those amendments going forward. And sorry, Mercedes Vella, I'll come back to your intervention point.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the intervention. It was just on the point you made about not having the evidence base to address aggregate land holdings. I wondered if you could say a little bit more about that, because it's the case, is it not, that the national concentration of land ownership was recognised as an issue by the Scottish Government, and it formed part of the consultation for this bill, but now it's not being included, and that seems to go against research and findings from the Scottish Land Commission. So I'm interested, it caught my attention hearing you say that there isn't an evidence base for it. It's not clear to me what that's being based on.
Well, it is based on the evidence that had been provided by the Scottish Land Commission, and the issue that we're ultimately trying to tackle here is the concentration of land ownership and the impacts that that can have on local communities, because it means there isn't the diversity and land supply available, and those are the issues that we're directly trying to address. Now, somebody could, and that's the thing, it's not to say that I'm not sympathetic with exactly the issues that I think Mercedes Vella is trying to address here. But again, we don't have the evidence base for that, or to show that if somebody owns land in other parts of Scotland, it's the impact of, you would have to, and it falls below the threshold. You don't have the evidence base to show the impact on the local community near that area of land, but it may not be relevant anyway if it falls below that threshold.
So does that mean that the government's position has changed and that you no longer recognise national concentration of land ownership to be a problem for Scotland?
Our position hasn't changed throughout the duration and the discussions that we've had on this bill. The key point that we are trying to address, and all the measures that we've been introduced, are based on the Scottish Land Commission recommendations in terms of how we can try to address the issues that are associated with the concentration of land ownership in Scotland and the impact that that has on local communities. But it's those large land holdings within a specific area that we can see some of those issues arise, and that is the point that we're trying to address with the measures in the bill. But our position hasn't changed. I'm just
seeking clarity on that position, on national concentration of land ownership.
Mercedes, sorry, if I just say, it's always very difficult at stage 2 is to make sure there's an open debate, but it doesn't need to be a conversation across the table. So I'm gently pointing you to ask a question, follow it up maybe with another question through me, and then you can address the issues when you get to speak in your section. Otherwise, I fear we could be here till Christmas, which may be a good thing, but maybe not. So one more question then, and then...
just on that specific point of national concentration of land ownership, does the Scottish Government recognise it as a problem?
Well, concentration of land ownership we do recognise as a problem. And again, the policy aim and the ultimate objective of what we're trying to address here is the effect of the concentration of land ownership in an area, and also on the impact that has on local communities and on the supply of land to local communities, which is why we have the measures that we've set out in the bill and why we're directly trying to